Okay, what's up, team? How are you? Rush on three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Okay, welcome to the Hub 2021. Give yourselves a round of applause for being selected. Okay, and then another big round of applause for your parents for bringing you here. Okay, excellent. So you guys, we're going to do a small presentation, go over the rules of the event, and then we have a very special guest that's come to talk to you guys about his experience on his path to professional. At one point, he was sitting in the seats just like all of you guys were. In that super awesome video that our marketing team made, all of those pros that are currently playing, they were once select players too. So you guys are a part of an esteemed group of players. You should be proud of yourselves for making it here. And then this weekend, do your best to perform well because there's a next step that you guys want to achieve as players too. So again, welcome. We're going to do a quick presentation, and I'm going to introduce a very key staff member of Rush Soccer. His name is Thiago Calvano. Give him a hand as he walks up here. Mr. Calvano, do you mind sharing with the group a little bit about your background?
Hello, everyone. Justin.
He's a really humble guy. He never likes telling exactly his professional career, but Thiago, go ahead.
So, first of all, I'm sorry about my accent. I'm from Brazil. My name is Thiago Calvano. I'm 40 years old. And yes, as Justin was saying, one day I was in your place, not with Rush, because I grew up in Brazil, but on a youth team. So I started to play when I was 14. I played for Botafogo, one of the biggest clubs in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro. And I was able to play for Botafogo until I was 21. I played for the first team, and then I played 1.5 years for the first team, and then I transferred to Italy. I played for a club called AC Perugia, first division back in the day, and I spent 1 season there. After this, Justin, that will take long here, man.
Yeah, keep going. Get to the good one, Barcelona.
So, and then after Perugia, I have the opportunity to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world. I play for Barcelona. I signed with the second team. I had a chance to play with the best player ever. I play with Messi, and yes. So actually, my first game in the first team was the same day as Messi, so we debuted together, and it was an amazing experience playing against Porto in the new stadium of the Dragão. After Barcelona, I went to Switzerland, played 3 years in Switzerland, another 3 in Germany, 3 years in Australia. Then I had the chance to come to the US. I played for Minnesota United, and I play for Penn FC, the first team from Rush Soccer in Harrisburg. And now I'm here.
Yeah, very good. So one of Thiago's roles is he's basically himself and another gentleman named Raul Vaz. His flight was delayed. They're the head scouts of Rush Soccer. So they really focus on getting you guys the highest level playing opportunities that you can get. We invest in storied professionals like this to make sure that they have excellent eyes on the players within this program. So I'm happy to introduce Thiago. You'll see him out in the fields. There's another gentleman named Raul that have been within the professional landscape, and these are people that you can bounce ideas off of, ask advice, and really they're here to scout to make sure we get the best players to the next level. So what is Rush Select? It is Rush Soccer's most elite player program. Rush Soccer, did you guys know that we're international? Who didn't know Rush Soccer was international? Some of you are lying. We are international. We've got 61 clubs in the United States, or excuse me, U.S. clubs in 37 states, and we have 51 international clubs in 6 different countries. It's pretty impressive, right?
Continents.
And continents, excuse me. So this program is made to help the elite athlete who wants to get better. And I'm glad that you guys are all here. Your dedication to what you're doing at your local club has got you here. And now we want to give you that extra oomph to reach the highest level, whether that's professional, the highest level of college, whatever you need. if you're not going pro, and this is really for the parents too, because these little guys and gals are not thinking of college, being a part of this program is special because all of the players, when you're at the regional level and the national level, you get access to 3 CAP directors that are specific for Rush players. So another reason to be a part of the Rush and this program, when you guys go home, you should probably go to rushcollege.com, give that a look. The players need to start thinking about college now. We have Rush Soccer, this is how we are successful, when we get pros that we can put on a video or players that go to Duke, UNC, the D1 schools. So we give a lot of resources and an extra emphasis on these players that are in this program. On Friday night, parents, the national CAP director will be at the fields holding impromptu conversation, because obviously parents help the players plan their college careers. So if you guys want to be a part of that, you can. This is the scouting network here this weekend for the next level. Thiago, do you want to take a little bit of this one?
Yep. So, as Justin said, Raul Voz is our global sporting director. He will be the head scout of the 07, Justin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This entire team will basically be out scouting you guys. So that's this slide. We'll keep it moving. There's the pros on the bottom. Lindsey Horan, Cole Bassett, Jordan DiBiase, Thomas Rowe. Every player that you saw there was in this program. So we want to just show you guys that you are on the platform to something greater. You've gotten here. This isn't the pinnacle. There's more to go, and we're here to help you get there.
Yeah, I would say a little advice, guys. Don't feel under pressure. Play your best. Don't try to overdo things. We are soccer experts. We know you all will make mistakes, but we don't care if you make mistakes.
That's right.
You know, the most important thing is how you react to the mistakes. Because I was a pro, I made mistakes, but you need to react quick, think on the next play, and move on. And also, when you do good things, don't be lazy just because you score a nice goal. No, always move on in the next action, okay?
Good man, good man.
So, now, Justin, live with me, I can handle, you know? So now I will be talking about our Rush Soccer pyramid. On the base of our pyramid, we have all the local clubs, the domestic clubs from Florida to Hawaii. You know, our clubs are sending teams and players to the regional center where the majority of you guys went. And then at the centers, we create our regional teams. And then that's why we are here at the hub. So our main goal here at the hub is to identify, to select the best players and create the Rush national team. When you are with the Rush Select national team, you guys will have the opportunity to play in one local tournament, right, and one overseas. That's really important, guys, that this program is really special. At the beginning of the year, myself, Raul, all the troop, we attend a Rush Select event in Florida, and we were watching a game, and we identify a kid from Michigan Rush. He was really good. We talked, we liked him. We talked to him. He was a really nice kid, and we see a potential to be a professional player. So Rush Soccer is helping this kid to achieve his dream. So we will be giving him 100% scholarship in one residential academy that we work with. So like that, he can improve his skills and develop as a player. We are looking also to add a new residential academy in Florida, also to give you guys more opportunities. Obviously, we don't have the budget to give scholarship to everyone, but all the Rush members, they will have a special price on those residential academies. We also have a residential academy in Spain, which is a really nice program, is the Rush SPF. I visit, our president, Tim Schultz, visit a couple months ago. It is a really nice program. You guys can go there for a short period of time, 1 week to 1 month, or to the full year. If you go to the full year, you can continue your education in English because they have a British partnership, or you can also attend the local Spanish school. There, you'll be training with Rush coaches. They all they have the UEFA coaching license, very good coaches. They have a great facilities, so it is a 5-star resort where the players will be living. They have great fields. The routine will be like you wake up in the morning, train with the Rush coaches. Then you go to the school, go back, and the beauty of this program is, like in Valencia, they have 3 professional clubs playing in the first division, like Levante, Villarreal, Valencia, and they have a bunch of local clubs playing the second and third division. So we have a lot of connections, and you guys, after the school, will be training and play with one of those clubs. So you'll be really developing and make progress because you'll be exposure with Spanish kids, Spanish coaches. That's a really good program. And then on top of the pyramid with Capelli, we have the pro teams in Europe. We have a club in Germany, MSV Duisburg. The men's team is playing the third division right now, and the women's team is playing the second division, but they will promote next year to the first Bundesliga. We have 2 Rush girls playing for the first team, and we also have HB Koge in Denmark. That's a really strong program on the women's side. They are playing the first division, and they are competing in the Champions League. They played last night against Arsenal. Unfortunately, they lose, but it is a great, great program, great club. On the boys, they are playing the second division. Actually, another good one is we are sending 2 players that one day was like you guys sitting over there. Next week, they're going to a period of trial with HB Koge. So they are flying next week.
These are select players. Obviously, they're older men, but they're U17, but they're select players going to these opportunities. And then what about AS Monaco?
AS Monaco, it is our last club, that the newest club is only for girls. They are playing the third division, but they are in the top of the table. They never lose a game this season. And we have 3 girls playing for Monaco. So we have a girl from here, a girl from Virginia, and one from Hawaii.
Exactly.
So that's all for you guys. So
it's all for you. It's a symbiotic relationship. Rush Soccer likes to brag about their top players. So we give you guys as many opportunities as possible. You guys train hard. You get the opportunities. We get to brag about your successes. So just the overall thing is there's a lot of opportunities here. Take them. Take them. Be the player to take those opportunities and do your thing and your goals and trying to be the best player you can be. Okay, so what's next? Drum roll. This is the first announcement of where the national teams are going to be going. So after this event, we're forming national teams. The national teams are going to a domestic event and then have the opportunity to go to an international event. So every national team goes to Arizona, President's Day. The 09 girls are going to go to Italy, beautiful trip. The 08s, Austria. The 07, Spain. And for the boys, all of them go to the domestic event in Arizona, PDT tournament. And the 09s, Italy. The boys, Austria. And the boys 07 in Austria as well. So opportunities to make the national team. That's the first time we've ever announced that. I hope that you guys get the opportunity to go. The event, it's growing. This is actually the second year that we've had the hub. Only the second year we've done it inter-regional competition. So last year, this is the leaderboard. The South is on top by goal differential. Give it to the South. And then the West region won 2, the Midwest, and then the Northeast. Northeast, are you guys gonna win more than 1 this time? Okay, I really hope so. So this is gonna be a running tally. This event's probably here to stay. Rep your region, rep your club. Although we are one club as a unity, have a little pride in your region, and we'll keep tallies on this leaderboard every year. Okay, well, now we're gonna play a game to win a pretty dope prize. There's a piece of paper in the seat. It's a race. Get your phone out, scan it, and then you're gonna join the game. You've got 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds. 10, 9. You got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3. Some of you might not have gotten in. Hopefully many of you did. We are starting. What does RUID stand for? Thiago, do you know what RUID stands for? Don't say it out loud.
I know.
It's
I
a
did my
hashtag. It's a
homework.
slogan of the Rush. Some of this Rush Way stuff you gotta know. You gotta know. It is Rush Until I Die. Good job. The leaderboard. Who's on top here? Bella. Okay, next question. What year was Rush Soccer founded? Do you guys know? What year? Thiago, do you know?
I know.
You gotta take a guess. What year? It was 1997. I clicked it too quick. It was 1997. Chloe Wishart, she takes the top. Next one. Oh, this is a good one. How many core values do we have, Thiago? Thiago, list 2 of them. Can you list 2 of them, Thiago?
I can.
How many core values do we have? The core values, it's the makeup of our club. It's 11. Who said 9? That was wrong. We got Brennan on top, Riley, and then Gus. What state did Rush Soccer start? Which state was the first Rush club? Do you guys know your Rush history? This is like a school. This is like a test. And if you fail, you have to go home. Colorado. Colorado, that was the first Rush club in 97. We got Chloe. She's killing it. What formation is the Rush way to play? Is it the 4-4-2? That's my favorite. 4-4-2 with a box in the middle. Three, 5-2. 3-5-2. My second favorite. Brennan. The Rush slogan, where the trails of passion and purpose meet. Are you guys up on your Rush knowledge? And if you don't know, you got to memorize this stuff. That's what it means to be a part of the club. Begins the path to victory. Very good. Very good. We got Brennan. We got a lot of ties here. Who was the first Rush alumni to play in the World Cup? The first Rush alumni to play in a World Cup. You gotta think hard on this one. Don't overthink it. Connor Casey. It was not Lindsay. It was not Lindsay. Connor Casey. We got a bunch of ties again. How many Rush clubs are there globally? How many? Take a guess, take a guess, take a guess. $133. 133. And the winner? Okay, let's go. Come up to the stage very quickly. Ainsley, Brennan, and Jonathan. Ainsley, Brennan, and Jonathan. Ainsley, Brennan, and Jonathan, quickly. We're on a strict schedule. Is this you three? Okay, come to the front here. We're gonna take one quick photo. Which one's Ainsley? Come here, Ainsley, quick. A signed Clint Dempsey jersey. Who's Ainsley? Come here, come on. And grab the shoes. Who's Brennan? Good man. And Jonathan. Good man. And then here's shoes for you. Okay, come here. Get on that side. Quick picture. Give him a hand, please. Okay, very good. Get off.
Thank you, guys.
Good job. Okay, excellent. Okay, very good. So, you guys, I'll be back up to go over the final rules. Welcome to the hub. We got a special guest. Very grateful that he was able to come out, speak to you. You know, really listen. Probably some teens, stuff goes in one ear, out the other. Hopefully this speaks to some of you. This is one of the best players to ever play in the United States coming to the stage here. So I'd like to welcome Clint Dempsey to the stage.
Thank you, guys.
Ready?
Yeah.
What's up? Let's do it. After you, man.
How's everyone doing? Good? Clint Dempsey, everyone.
What's up? How's everybody doing?
So thanks for taking the time. I'm going to embarrass you just a little bit and tell your stats. I don't think you guys realize quite how cool Clint Dempsey really is, so we're going to go over this for you. So ESPN, Fox Sports, and NBC Sports ranked Clint as the greatest men's American soccer player in history.
That's pretty good.
His career played for the New England Revolution, Fulham, Tottenham, and the Seattle Sounders. 3-time USA Soccer Athlete of the Year, 4-time MLS All-Star, CONCACAF Team of the Decade, 140 and 57 international goals, tied with Landon Donovan for the most of all time. And if you caught the game on Tuesday, just announced as a Hall of Fame finalist for the class of 2022 in this first year of eligibility.
Thank you.
So that is incredible. Thank you. Thanks for taking the time to be in here.
No, thanks for having me. I should have probably wore some pants. It's a little cold here, so didn't know about all that.
It was decent yesterday. It gets colder and colder here.
All right.
So let's look ahead then. So we're going to assume you get inducted in the Hall of Fame. The ceremony is in Dallas, Texas, and you drove 2.5 hours, 3 or 4 times a week to train in Dallas, Texas. What would it feel like to go back home and get that have the ceremony there in your?
I mean, it'd be really cool. It'd be like full circle, like you said. It was like 3 hours, but if you drove fast, you can get there probably 2 hours, 45 minutes to go one way and back. We didn't go 3 times a week. At most, we'd probably go like twice a week, like every like Wednesday. And then we go on the weekend on Saturday. But yeah, that driving up and down the road starts to add up. But it's kind of like when you're from a rural area, you got to go wherever the best coaching is. And for me, that's where the best coaching was. So it was a big sacrifice to make by my parents. So to be able to thank them on that kind of stage would be a dream come true.
That's cool. So 2.5 hours. Yeah. So the town you grew up in, I'm going to butcher it. I've actually practiced it, and I'm still going to butcher it. I'm going to let you say the town you grew up in.
Nacogdoches.
Nacogdoches. It's the oldest town.
You can just say Nacktown.
Is someone from this town? Someone cheered over there. It's the oldest town in Texas, is what they claim.
That's right.
So small town, around 30,000. So grew up in a small town there. At what point do you remember saying, I want to be a professional soccer player?
To be honest, growing up when I was in Nacogdoches, before I was making that trip, the trips up to Dallas, I really didn't have a dream of becoming a professional soccer player because I didn't really see that on TV. We didn't really get a lot of games, but there was like these VHS tapes, and you could see like international play. The kids, y'all probably don't even know what that is these days.
We may have to explain.
Basically,
Explain what
something
a
looks like a brick, you put into a VCR, and something comes on the TV. So I was seeing like international plays, so watching just different countries play in the World Cup and seeing how passionate the fans were, and me being so passionate about that game, I like gravitated towards that. So that was kind of the dream. It wasn't until 1994 when we had the World Cup in the U.S. and like them having an MLS league after that, you're like, oh wow, this is a domestic league that's professional. You know, this maybe could be a possibility. So it wasn't until like, you know, around like 1995, something like that, you started to dream a little bit about, you know, the possibility of going pro. But when I first started going club at the time, I mean, I know the landscape changes a little bit as, you know, kids nowadays, they can go pro earlier, but the vision was always try to go to college and try to get a scholarship, try to help my parents. You know, we didn't have a college fund, so it was kind of like all our eggs are in one basket doing the club thing, hoping that it'd work out. So it ended up working out, me getting a scholarship to Furman University, and as you go through that process, you start to believe more and more that maybe it might be a possibility that you could go pro. And it's not until like each step you reach, you're like, all right, well then what's the next step? You don't get like complacent. You're always trying to say, all right, I made it to college, I'm trying to make it pro. All right, I made it pro in the States, and I'm trying to make it pro in Europe or wherever you dream about playing. All right, I'm trying to play, made on the national team, now I'm trying to play in the World Cup. So like, as you get to each step, your dreams get bigger and you keep pushing.
That's, I think, a great point for everyone here is like talking about don't get complacent because you hear and there's always the next, there's always something more. Was there a moment, because you said each step, was there a moment, and maybe it wasn't until you hit college when you go, you know, I'm good enough? Because, you know, every kid wants to, you know, if you get paid to play a sport you love, but what was the moment you said, I think I'm good enough? Like, this is a reality beyond college.
I think when you start seeing some of the peers that you played with are, you know, they're starting to go pro or they're starting to do it, or people that have been on teams that you've been on, or you've got an opportunity to play pickup with certain people and be around certain things that you start to say, oh, there might be a chance here. And when you have something that's kind of close to you, it makes you think it's attainable. It's just when you're like so far away, out in the boondocks, living in the country, it might seem kind of hard. But when you kind of get closer to being around that level that you want to get to, then you start thinking, hey man, this might can work out. So it's just important to have that belief and to try to like put yourselves in situations to be around the best competition possible, to push you and get around those type of environments that can like help you start to believe in.
Yeah, that's cool. So you played everywhere internationally, and I want to kind of preempt this question. Is there a common trait you see with high-level players? And I guess let me give an example. Is if you ever listen to high-level women's players, they always say they either had older brothers or they played up with the boys. Is there anything like that you kind of see this common trait with high-level players?
I mean, I think it's always to keep pushing yourself. So if you're playing around the kids that are your age and you start to become one of the best kind of in like your little city, it's like, well, I'm trying to be the best in my state. And then if you're the best in your state, well then like, I'm trying to be the best in my region. Or if this is the best that's around me and I'm operating at a high level, well then I'm gonna try to play up. I mean, you just gotta always be trying to push yourself. You don't wanna be somewhere where you're feeling like you're always the top dog. I think it's important to kind of say, all right, if I'm the top dog, let me go somewhere where it's a little bit more uncomfortable and be trying to chase something instead of everybody chasing me. So I think that's kind of having that kind of mindset, always kind of pushing yourself and being around those type of situations that you're feeling like you're getting better. I think it's easy for people to get complacent and be like, okay, I got it made. I got this kind of figured out. I'm like the big person in my city or in my state. Like you got to start thinking, what are these other kids around here doing? And like, what scale are you looking at things? Are you trying to just go MLS? Are you trying to just go college? Like, what are all these kids doing to try to get to that next level? And then if you're trying to get like to these big clubs in Europe, it's like, what are these kids around the world doing? It's like, when you got free time, you got to think, man, am I watching games? Am I studying film? Am I looking after my body? Am I figuring out ways to get stronger? I mean, you just got to always be trying to think of what's that little edge that's going to give you that confidence to to do something great.
How much time were you spending off? Because you said you got to do stuff at home. So obviously you can't, if you're only driving to Dallas a couple times a week, what were you doing outside of that? Like, was it just nonstop for you? Or, I mean,
well, it'd be like, I think there's a balance of everything. Like, you have to take care of your body. Doing too much can actually be a detriment if you're not doing the right things. Gotta look, it can take a toll on your body, but it's like, how are you mixing it up? Like in your off days, so if you're not doing like agility and stuff like that, well, like, okay, I'm working on the ladder, I'm working on fast feet, I'm working on my skills. If I'm not feeling like in training I'm getting enough of that, well, then I need to be doing this on maybe the off day or something like that. Or am I watching film? That's the way I can still get sharp, by seeing what players that play the game the way I love the game to be played. And I think that's really the biggest thing of all, is finding out why you love the game, because that's what's gonna make you happy and want you to keep doing this. If you're just out there kind of playing like, man, I just like soccer, or I just like going out there and playing, I think you need to find like, man, I love it, and I love it because of this. And like my thing is I love taking people on. I love scoring goals. I love getting assists. I was an attacking player, but if you're a defender, I love breaking up plays. I like being someone who keeps possession and is comfortable building out of the back. Am I a midfielder? Am I someone who can find passes, it has good vision around the field, also is getting stuck in, being like the engine of the team? You just got to figure out what is the style that you love, and why are you playing it, because that's just going to give you success in the long run, is having something that keeps you passionate.
Is there a baseline skill that you think every high level player has to have? Like, because you said every position is going to be a little different.
Yeah.
Is there something you say you have to be able to do this?
I mean, you have to have a good first touch. It's going to give you more time and space. You have to be able to have a good first touch with both feet. You have to be comfortable to pass with both feet, because you never know. You might be right-footed and you roll your ankle. Guess what? You're going to have to learn to use your left foot a little bit more. And the more that you kind of have to your arsenal, the more dangerous person you're going to be. Someone can't say, all right, I got them, I'm going to take away them from going to the right, or I got them, I'm going to take away them going from the left. You just got to work on kind of like having that good first touch, create more time and space for yourself, being able to like give other people good passes too. I think that's an important thing, is reading the game and say, do they have space in front of them? Well, then I'm going to lead them. I'm going to lead it to their front foot. Or is there a person on this side of their body? I need to play it on this side of the body to give them the best opportunity to keep possession here. So it's just like these little nuances, but definitely first touch, being comfortable with the ball, especially if you're a field player, because that's what you're doing most of the time, is you're playing with your feet.
Yeah, and all stuff they can work on at home on their own.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. So what's the biggest difference that you see with, say, the U.S. game versus the international game?
The U.S. game in what way?
Like how the game is played, or let's focus on like as you've grown up, or how's the game played here versus internationally? Is there style play that you always see differently, or?
I mean, once you get to the international level from MLS, it's faster, and then once you get to the European level, it's even faster. Like, it was even faster playing in the Premier League than it was playing with the national team, in my opinion.
Wow.
And it was faster playing with the national team than it was playing in MLS to me at that time. So it's just being able to process information and like speed of play, is being able to like have that good first touch, be able to like figure out what I want to do next, whether it's make a good pass, maybe it's cutting somebody, and then it's like, it's how fast you can do like your check downs like a quarterback does when you have the ball. You having these options, it's like, this ain't on, go. Or the first option is this on, stay with that. It's just trusting yourself, and it just kind of speeds up your thinking when you're around that kind of environment.
Yeah. Looking back, is there anything you'd tell, and I know you have kids, so maybe it's something you'd tell your kids as advice, but is there anything looking back you would tell young Clint Dempsey to say, I should have done this differently?
Man, I wish, honestly, I probably wouldn't have changed a thing because it worked out, but
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everything happens for a reason, but you just, I don't know.
I think
that's a tough question to answer, really, man.
That seems like a great answer there. Yeah, look at you now. That's yeah, you did everything right. So I'm sure you get this question a lot. You've scored a lot of goals. Do you remember what your most memorable goal that you scored was?
My most memorable goal was scoring in the first World Cup that I ever played in. Because as a kid, like I told you, I was watching those VHS tapes, and that's what I dreamed about before I go to bed. That's what I pray about. I'd say, man, I hope one day that I could represent my country and I could score in a goal, be in a stadium, and kind of feel that energy and be up. And the goal that I did score was against Ghana in 2006, but it was like a lifeline for the team because we got scored on first, and it was to tie the game up. And if we'd won that game, we ended up losing 2-1. They got a penalty that I think should have been a penalty in that game, but
You're not bitter about that at
I'm
all.
not bitter
right?
about that at all. I don't think about that. But that was one of the best feelings in my world. It's like, man, I can make it at the highest level. That's what gave me that confidence. Like, okay, I've done it at the World Cup. I've scored in the World Cup. Like, I got to keep going. And just that feeling you get when you score a goal for your country, man, you feel like you can run through a brick wall. So, I mean, I wish everybody could feel something like that in their lifetime.
Well, I think we have it if we can play it real fast.
Taking it back.
Can you still do that dance?
Huh?
Can you still do that victory dance?
Man, I don't know, man. These are kind of old, man. But that was the heel toe. Kids don't even know about the heel toe.
It bring back memories, or you remember every second of that?
I mean, great ball in from Bees. It was kind of one of those things that I wasn't even thinking when it came across because the repetition kind of got you ready for that moment. And I just knew, man, I was going to hit it hard, hit it low, and it was going to be tough for the keeper to try to save that one. So it just happened to be a great ball. And I think when you don't think too much and you just trust your instincts and your repetition that you've done, things kind of fall into place. And that was a big moment for me.
Yeah, huge. So was there ever a point, that you either doubted yourself or that you wanted to quit playing?
There's plenty of times that you doubt yourself. There's plenty of times where you fall down, you got to get back up, and how bad do you want it? There's injuries. I remember I was in high school. I had to get knee surgery going in my senior year, and you just don't know what's going to happen, how everything's gonna pan out. I remember getting some holy water and rubbing it on my knee when I was making a comeback, man, and just doing the rehab and trying to take care of yourself. You just don't know what's going to happen, and through your career, it's like things kind of worked out. Like I kind of stayed at college a little bit longer than when I wanted to, but by staying there, it allowed me to get drafted to the team I got drafted to, which was with the Revolution with Steve Nicol and Paul Mariner. May Paul rest in peace. He passed away this year. But they allowed young players to kind of come into the team and get a chance. And without getting that chance, my rookie season, I wouldn't have even broke into the national team. And by breaking into the national team, that's what allowed me to get into the World Cup qualifiers to accomplish what I've told you was my most important goal. So.
At every level you went, was there a moment of doubt? Like, you made the World Cup team, or then, the first time you played, in the English Premier League. At every level you kind of had
going in that World Cup, I mean, that year, that January camp, it was kind of, I wasn't even the main guy that was supposed to be on the team. And I was kind of like, if you're in January camp, that basically means the European players aren't going to be there, and you're just kind of fighting for scraps, and you're trying to prove that you should be a guy that's selected. And I ended up like working hard and being able to get into that team. But going into the send-off games, I had to get an epidural on my back because I was having like in my L3, L4 area, it was like some inflammation that was causing like some tingling to go down my legs. And so not knowing like, is this injection gonna work? Is this gonna make it to where I can play and go to the World Cup? Because that's my dream. So there was doubt there, but it ended up working out. I ended up being able to get fit and play in the World Cup, like I said. I mean, and then it's like, when you're playing, there's always going to be stuff that happens. It's crazy, but it's like, it's how you adapt. You always have to be able to like, try to make the best of the worst situation and just have the right mindset of don't get too high, don't get too low, like stay the course and stay focused. Remember what your why is, like what motivates you. Like for me, I always like, want to take care of my family, so, but that was my why.
And one thing I was going to ask, but I think you've probably answered, is the most important thing. Because, like I said, you've sat here, and we talked back there a little bit, like, every year for your banquet, you've been in this exact situation and grown up, and obviously we learned that it worked out for you. What's the most important thing for players to remember, like personally on their journey?
I mean, I think some of the stuff we talked about earlier is just stay focused. Don't lose track. Don't, you know, you got to make sacrifices if you want to be great at something. It's hard because you got friends, they want to go do this, they want to go party, they want to go, you know, play Nintendo. Not to say that I didn't do those things, you know what I'm saying? It's just finding the right balance in terms of like being smart, doing what you got to do, put it in the work, because the work you put in is the work you're going to get out. And staying confident in yourself. When no one believes in you, you got to believe in yourself. And like the people who start out on top, that maybe hit puberty first or are faster than you, stronger than you, you just got to stay the course, man. You got to trust yourself. You got to, you know, always believe, because it's easy to kind of get down and say, man, this ain't for me, or I'm going to give up. Like, why are everybody faster than me or bigger than me, or this or that, getting breaks that I'm not getting. Like, I remember trying out for teams and not making them, especially like when I go to regional camp. Back in the day, we used to do ODP. I don't even know if y'all do that anymore, if that's even a big thing. But it was like I go to Region 3, and I get out, and to be able to go there, I go around the town asking for money. So I like go to like these businesses and be like, hey, they got this camp coming up. They're like, what's that? You know what I mean? They're like from a small town, like, you want us to give you money to go play some soccer? And I was like, yeah, it's tax deductible, hook a brother up.
And that's football country down there too. They probably.
But you know, then I'd go do it, and then I wouldn't make it. And I got to come back and tell everybody, like, how did it go? And you're just like, well, it didn't work out for me. There'd be like 3 or 4 days, you're like, man, I'm kind of burned out. And then the next day hit, you're like, man, I got to get back on my grind again. Like, I got to prove them wrong. Like I love it. So I wouldn't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
So I think going through failure, going through tough times is who makes you. Like, just because it's easy all the time, if your team's winning all the time, you know, that ain't really it for me. I love winning. But I hate losing more. But you're going to take L's in your life. You're going to take hard times. It's how you adapt. And for me, it's just like, stay the course, stay confident. That's huge. Even when no one else believes in you, got to believe in yourself.
Yeah, that's. I think it's incredible that the biggest thing I kind of took away from that was, and it would, you know, you're asking businesses for money to go play, and I think we most of us have a pretty nice things. You know, our parents can take us there, and we talk about, you know, you find your why, you find your passion. Like, you're knocking on businesses' door, begging for money just to go play a sport, and then not make it, and then you have to do it again. Like, that's to me, that's absolutely incredible of that level, that mentality that you had. To keep in the next level. I mean, that's incredible. So hopefully everyone takes that nugget away there. So couple few quick questions. Is the English Premier League the best league in the world?
Man, like, it's hard to dispute that. I mean, they got, you know, some of the best players in the world, and from top to bottom, you know, it's very competitive. There's a lot of money over there in teams, and they're able to do, you know, make really strong rosters. In terms of style, if there was a league that I could have said I wish I got to play in during my career, it would have been playing in Spain. I just like the way that they play. It would have been awesome to experience what it was like to be in that league. But just for me, not to say that it's not going to get to that level here, but like being in Europe, being somewhere where the game that you love was valued the same as everybody else around you. And like when you turned on the news, it can be a gift and it can be a curse, but it's either going to be highlights of you doing good or it's going to be highlights of your team doing bad. And it's like, how do you deal with that pressure? And for me, top to bottom, it's hard to dispute. I think it's competitively, I think it's the best league in the world.
You played for 2 teams though, so who do you cheer for now?
I mean, I cheer for both of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to see anybody that you're a part of do well.
Yeah.
So whether it's the Revolution, whether it's Fulham, whether it's Tottenham, whether it's Seattle, like whether it's your college team, whether it's your club team, whatever, whether it's your home city, home state, like I feel like you always got to represent where you're from and what you're a part of, and wish everybody the best. But you know, it's different now not being there as much, so maybe you're not as invested in it, because when you're on it, man, it's like, man, we want to do good. Like, you don't want to get relegated. Like, you don't want to be going down to the championship. No offense to the teams that are over there, but it's like, you want to be in the big show. You want to be playing against the best players, the best teams, week in and week out.
Yeah. Well, we have 2 questions from the audience here. We'll answer those here real fast. Where are we at with the questions here? Who's asking the questions? Yeah, come on. Hey, tell us your name and what club you're with.
I'm Parker Zinger, and I play for Wisconsin West.
What's up, Clint? Nice to meet you.
So, Mr. Dempsey, what is the most critical mistake you see in players that strive to play professional?
Dang, that's a good question. Most critical mistake. I would say to lose how you fell in love with the game, like what the reason why you love the game, to not be true to yourself and play that style. I think that with a coach, you have to adapt your game, and different teams, you're gonna have to take a little bit of that, you're gonna have to take that information and play. But I think if like you like taking on people and they're telling you always just 1 and 2 touch, like you gotta figure out ways, moments that you can do it. And it's like Money in the Bank, like you do some good passes, and then after you've done a few good passes, you're in the attacking third, and you got time, you know, nobody to pass to, and you got a man to beat. Then take somebody on, take a risk, and if you lose the ball, try to win it back, you know what I'm saying? And then make some more passes, steal the ball a little bit, and then try it again. I think to be scared of failing is the worst mistake a lot of kids can make, because everybody's gonna fail. But if you do make a mistake, it's how you react to get the ball back for the team, or what are you doing in the next times you get on the ball. But remember why you fell in love with the game, and if you do that, shoot, I just think it'll all work out for you.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
What's your name? What club you with?
Kiara O'Connor in Colorado Rush.
What's up? You got this. You got this.
Who's the best player you've played with in your career?
Dang, that's a good question too. Probably the best player that I played with, I would say it was Gareth Bale that year that I was at Tottenham. He was on fire. He could run as fast with the ball that he could without it. But I'd say my favorite teammate to play with, and we had the chemistry of playing up Obafemi Martins when I was at Seattle. It was like we're playing pickup, like with each other. We just knew what each other were gonna do, and we had that connection. But those would probably be the two players that stood out the most for me.
Thank you. All right, Clint. You want to say thank you? Like it's been incredible. And any last words, and then we're going to take a quick picture. But any last words for all these players here? We got the parents. We got people watching at home.
Yeah. Well, I know y'all here. Y'all got some big games coming up, and you got people watching. You got a lot of pressure on your shoulders. What I'd say to y'all is, it's what I used to do. You don't have to do it. But I look myself in the mirror. I'd be like, man, control what you can control. That's how hard you work and what you put into the game. Sometimes you're not going to get the bounces. Sometimes, like, luck is not going to be on your side. But if you're sitting there stressing about all the things that you can't control, that's just wasted energy. And you're going to need your energy so that you're able to get around the field and make stuff happen. So that was a big thing for me going into big games, is know, like, the confidence you got is from the training you've already done to get here. Like the money's already in the bank. Like, now it's about to go live it up. Go get on the field and do your thing. So that's my advice I'd give y'all, is go out there, be confident, control the things that you can, and don't worry about the rest. And shoot, if you're tired and you left it all out there, shoot, it's in God's hands.
Awesome. All right, so we're gonna get one big picture. So So we got Coco and Jay back here. We're gonna take a quick picture. Clint, I think we're gonna stand here. We're gonna try to get some sort of a selfie with everyone. Where do you want us? In the middle?
So right here.
Do we have to kneel
Do we need
down?
to get down?
May not get back up.
Oh shoot, bro! Like we're taking a soccer picture, bro.
Yeah. It's always, this is the old one, remember that?
Oh yeah, you do that one, I'll do this one.
You always had to hurry before like all the parents got there.
Is this good, man? Or these locking up?
I know. All right, hey, let's give Clint Dempsey a round of applause.
Hey,
Thanks, brother, man. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. All the best. Here we go.
Okay. Is one more? Okay. I do not want to follow that one up, but I have to. Okay, last slide. Then you guys are getting out of here. It's the rules for the event. I think they're going to pop up on the screen. If not, I'll add them. Okay, they're here. So, the first one, which isn't a laughing matter. It isn't a laughing matter. No boys in girls' rooms, no girls in boys' rooms. In fact, no intermingling of rooms in general. We've only had to send one person home one time for that. But it's the number one rule. No girls in boys' rooms, no boys in girls' rooms. And stay in your own gosh darn room. No leaving the hotel without a coach's permission. Oh my gosh, coach, I really needed to get a soda. I needed the energy before the game. You don't leave the hotel without your coach knowing. You do not leave the hotel without your coach knowing. You probably even shouldn't step outside of the hotel without your coach knowing. So unless you guys are doing a team activity and you're outside of the hotel, you're in the premises of the hotel. I want to hear a unanimous yes on that one too. Louder, because I'm looking at her, she didn't say yes. Louder. Okay, very good. Next one, we're gonna do masks in the vehicles and while you're walking around the hotel. This is something that we promised to the hotel, so we're going to do our best to do that. And then the last one, as being a good athlete, a young pro, is make sure that you're on time for all events. So your coaches are going to put you in some sort of group me, a WhatsApp chat, a group chat, and there will be times that you have to be for breakfast, downstairs for the van to leave, and you need to be on time. If you're not on time, you might be left. And if you're left, you're not going to participate in the activity. We're not here for vacation. We're here to perform. And one of the things about performing is being on time. Being on time. On time is early. Have you guys heard that saying? Oh, okay. Someone said no. Well, you should learn it. Okay, very good. Parents, thank you guys for coming. You guys welcome to the event. Please do well. Single file, start walking out. Parents, if you guys can drop them off at the hotel. And then once parents, you drop them off at the hotel, you guys are free to go. We'll eat dinner, and then the coaches will take them there for their first team togetherness. Thank you all. Thank you all.